So now let's talk about the history of performance art. So performance art originated in the early 20th century with avant-garde movements like Futurism, Dada, and Surrealism, challenging traditional art through live, ephemeral experiences. So key moments include the 1916 Cabaret Voltaire, which featured anarchic events. So post-war, figures like John Cage and Morris Cunningham emphasized the body and the incorporated political and feminist themes. Now let's move on to the categories of performance art. So we just have five, but take note there are lots of categories of performance art. So first we have theater. So theater is a form of performing arts where actors perform live on stage to tell a story. It uses dialogue, acting, movement, costumes, lights, and sets to bring the story into life. Next, we have the opera. So, opera is just like a theater. So, where the story is told mainly through singing, not spoken dialogue. It combines music, orchestra, acting, costumes, and elaborate sets. So the other three are dance, music, and spoken word. So that's all.
Let's move forward to the noble artists. Let's start first from Marina Abramovi. Marina Abramovi is a performance artist known for using endurance and audience interaction in her art. Her works often explore pain, vulnerability, and human connection. She uses her own body and real-life experiences, sometimes painful or emotional, to show how strong or fragile humans can be. Sometimes she even lets the audience participate, letting them decide what happened next in her performance. So the next one is Yuko Ono. Yuko Ono is a conceptual artist whose work focuses on ideas, imagination, and participation. She often invites the audience to join the artwork, making them part of the creative process. Her art also shares messages about peace, unity, and social issues.
Joseph Beuys, integrating shamanistic and political symbolism. So Joseph Beuys used shaman-like symbols to express healing and transformation, while promoting art as a tool for social and political change. Next is Alan Capro, coined the term happenings in the 1960s, which were events involving audience participation that blurred the lines between art and life. Alan Capro's happenings were live events where the audience took part, turning ordinary's action into art and blending art with everyday life.
Snowball's artist, Carolee Schiemann, a piece of feminist art, she addressed gender roles and sexuality using the body in her performances, such as the influential interior scroll. Next, Nobles artist, Chris Burden, known for extreme and often dangerous performances that tested the limits of the body's vulnerability and pain.
The next Nobel artist is John Gines, celebrated for her groundbreaking work since the 1960s, which covers performance, installations, video, dance, and music. So John Gines is a pioneering American artist known for her innovative fusions of performance, videos, and installations arts, exploring themes of identity and technology. So the next one of Nobel's artist is Jens Glynn, a founding figure of performance art who shocked the European audience with her performance, including the anthropometries of the Igloo epoch, where he directed models to press their paint-covered bodies against canvas. So Yves Glynn was a French artist and a key figure in performance art famous for his monochrome paintings, which is International Clean Blue, and provocative performance that challenge traditional art concepts.
Performance art relies on four key design elements: the time, space, the performer's body, and the performer audience relationship to shape the overall experience. These elements define how the performance unfolds, where it occurs, how the performer expresses ideas, and how the audience engages with the work. To organize these elements effectively, artists use principles of design such as balance, emphasis, rhythm, movement, contrast, unity, and variety. These principles help create structure, highlight important moments, and ensure the performance is cohesive, engaging, and impactful.
And now let us dive into the elements of performance arts. We have here the time, space, body, and the performer audience relationship. So first off is we have time. Time means it is how long the performance lasts, and its space. Time in performing arts doesn't mean just what hour it is. It's about how long the performance lasts, the rhythm, pacing, and timing of movements or dialogue. So, for example, in a dance, slow, deliberate movements create a calm or dramatic effect. Fast, choppy movements create tension or excitement. So basically, time controls the mood and energy of the performance. You can also think of time as the beat of the story or performance. Without proper timing, even the coolest performance can feel awkward. And next up, we have the space. Space refers to the location where the performance happens and how it is used by the performers. Space is about where the performance happens and how performers use that area. It can be a stage, a street, a gallery, or even a classroom. How performers use the space affects how the audience experiences the performance. For example, moving closer to the audience can create a feeling of intimacy, while using the full stage can make the performance feel grand or powerful. Even props, lighting, and the arrangement of objects contribute to the use of space, helping to tell the story and guide the audience's attention. So, in performing arts, space and time are very important elements that help shape the performance because together, space and time help make a performance engaging, meaningful, and memorable for the audience.
The next one is body. Body refers to how the performer uses their physical self to express emotions, tell a story, or convey meaning. So, using the physical actions, gestures, postures, and presence, the body or the performer can deliver their message to their audience. So it means the body is the main tool for a performer. Even without words, the body can communicate meaning. It helps make the performance more believable and expressive. The last element is the performer audience relationship. This refers to how the performer connects, interacts, or engages with the audience. It can be strong, weak, direct, or indirect. Using the connection, engagement, or distance or interaction, the the performer can express or can interact with their audience. That means this relationship determines how effective the performance is. A strong connections makes the performance more memorable and meaningful.
Now let's move on to the principles of performance arts. The first principle is balance. Balance refers to how visual elements are arranged in the performance space. It helps create harmony so the audience doesn't feel distracted or overwhelmed. For example, the placement of performers or props should look intentional and not too heavy on one side. So, next is emphasis. This principle is about creating a focal point, the part of the performance that the audience should pay attention to the most. Emphasis can be created using lighting, sound, movement, or even a performer's position on stage. It guides the viewer's eyes to what matters. And the last principle I will discuss is rhythm and movement. These shape the flow of and energy of the performance. Rhythm comes from repeated actions or patterns, while movement shows how performers use their body or space to express emotion and meaning. Together, they keep the performance dynamic and engaging.
Okay, next we have contrast. Contrast is the use of differences between elements to create interest, like light versus dark or loud versus soft. In a performance, contrast makes the scene more exciting. For example, a quiet movement suddenly followed by strong movements. This difference helps catch the audience attention. Next, we have unity and variety. Unity and variety explain how the parts of the performance work together as one whole while still showing different elements. For example, dancers may wear different colors or variety, but still follow the same theme or style, unity. This keeps the performance organized but not boring. Okay, let's move to the last. Proportion. Proportion is the relationship of different elements in terms of size or scale. In performance arts, this means making sure props, spacing, and movements fit well together. For example, big props should be balanced with smaller ones so the stage doesn't look awkward.
Cultural or social relevance. Performance art are culturally and socially important because they help shape who we are as a community. They preserve our traditions, allow people to express their emotions and ideas, and give a voice to social and political issues. They also promote diversity and self expression by welcoming different perspectives. Most importantly, performance arts bring people together, whether through teamwork, in creating a performance, or through a shared experience of watching one helping build unity and stronger communities.